If you're engaged in any form of work, and it doesn't matter if it's academic or not, even if it's just um, the mundane things, you know, even if it's just some chores or some tasks, it doesn't need to be necessarily academic. But I'm pretty sure that in some form of or another, we have all experienced what it is to procrastinate. And we are fully aware of what procrastinate means to us. It's delaying your work um, for it to be done or for your future self to worry about. In this recording, I'm going to try to dissect what procrastination might derive itself from. And I'm not saying I don't procrastinate, I still do to this very day. I always do. But the point of all this is for me to strive to at least understand it and to at least start working on it. But in while analyzing what procrastination means to me, I've realized the central concept that is behind procrastination and why we procrastinate, or why I procrastinate at least. I'm not sure if you guys feel the same way. But I procrastinate because I recognize that it derives itself from something. And what does it derive itself from? It derives itself from delaying speculated emotions. What do I mean by that? We are speculating um, a certain state of emotion or a certain state of self in the future, and we might not prefer to be in that state, so we keep on delaying it because we are so adamant on uh, not feeling that emotion right now. So what we do is we postpone it to another time, to another day, another month, until we are inevitably struck by our obligations and our deadlines to actually finish the task itself. So let me expound. What do I mean by speculated emotions? Deeps, you're not making any sense right now. So what I mean is, let's start with procrastination of a difficult task. What are you speculating? You're speculating some sort of pain. You're speculating some sort of pain because you're aware of the effort it needs to create or to accomplish the task. Now, you don't really know that you will feel that emotion in the first place. You don't really know if you'll actually feel any pain in doing the task itself. But since you're speculating, you're increasing the energy it takes to even start the task. Like, for example, you have a 500-page essay to write. The instinct is to look at the shallow description of the task, which is to write a 500-page essay, and you're instantly labeling it as a as a chore. You're instantly labeling it as something that is so daunting because you have to physically type out 500 words. But that's a speculation. The fact that it's daunting is just a speculation. You're not even sure if you might enjoy the task in the first place. Or you're not even sure that you're so good at writing essays already that you might even finish this in 30 minutes or an hour. Since you're speculating, you're not allowing yourself the fair chance of actually experiencing the pain itself, if ever it is painful. Because there's no use speculating. Like I said in the time video, there's no use for us to be worried about what our future self will feel because it doesn't exist yet. You have to live moment to moment, and you have to realize that your obligation as of now is to only process what is happening right now. It's not up to you to speculate emotions. It's not up to you to speculate pain or to be complacent of the speculated pain that you have built up in your head just because you want to avoid your prediction of something being unpleasant. Because it's unfair. It's unfair to yourself that you're not giving yourself the fair chance. You're not giving yourself the fighting chance to work or to accomplish what you need to do in the first place. The main challenge, I think, is starting the actual task. And the reason we find it so hard to start tasks is because we have already looked at the task as daunting in the first place, like I said. So the way that we could start battling procrastination is to be indifferent to the task. Look at it as something that you have to do and nothing else. Don't judge it, don't label it, don't speculate anything about it at all. Just look at your to-do list and see them as things that you have to accomplish. And the fact that you need to accomplish it should be the only reason why, um, should be a good enough reason for you to start it, since you have your obligations and responsibilities, right? Because it's uh it's a chore for us to actually start something that we think will be unpleasant. So if we eliminate that thinking that something is or will be unpleasant, then it wouldn't be so hard to start doing the task, right? I've actually employed a lot of um techniques to battle the increased energy of activation that is needed. That's a bit of enzyme talk if you're a science nerd. But what I usually do is I have this thing called the 2 minute rule. Um, I think it's been mentioned in a lot of other references as well. But the 2 minute rule is I have a 2 minute timer or 3 minutes, I think. Yeah, it's 3 minutes because I bought an hourglass from an online store, and it's like it uses sand, right? And it's exactly 3 minutes. So whenever I find myself failing to be indifferent to a task, I make myself a promise. I'll flip this timer and do it for only 3 minutes. I'll switch on my indifference immediately and just focus on the fact that I've given myself leeway because I told myself that I'll only do this for 3 minutes. Isn't that an enticing thing? Just do that hard task for just 3 minutes. And then what I quickly realize is that those 3 minutes quickly turn into 30, and that 30 quickly turns into 1 hour. So it affirms that one of the biggest problems that I face is not the task itself, it's starting. It's starting the task. And merely just starting, forcing myself to start the task was already half the battle. Because once I've entered this state of flow where I am just constantly just working away, I don't think about how unpleasant the task is. I just do it. And that's the a beauty of this rule that I've imposed on myself, the 3 minute rule, 3 minute rule, wherein I'm giving myself the option to opt out if ever it is that painful. But if it's not, and I've eliminated the friction of me just starting it, then I've done myself a big favor. So procrastination is not um is common. It's not unusual. It's common. It happens to everyone. So you don't need to feel bad that you're procrastinating, but you should be aware enough that The reason you're procrastinating in the first place might be because of speculation. So, my advice to myself, and maybe you if you're listening, is that live moment to moment. Don't live in the past, don't live in the future. Live moment to moment. Because a 3-minute rule is me living in the moment. I'm giving myself the moment to start. I'm allowing myself to start this task that I've deemed as daunting in my head. So live moment to moment. What's important is that you do it right now and not for your future self to worry about. Because your future self doesn't exist, right? There's no guarantee that you'll feel the same speculated feelings. All you have to do is just start the task. And if ever it is as daunting as you think it is, you could just reevaluate. You could stop, you could reevaluate, and you could just start over again with a new plan. But give yourself the fighting chance. Don't procrastinate because of emotions that you think might happen. Experience those emotions if ever they do happen. So, the bottom line is do it now and not for your future self to worry about. I'll talk to you in the next one.